proceeds, known online as Wootini, here with another Gay Gamer video podcast. As predicted, I finished Miles Morales this past week. That was quick. It got a little tricky at the end, though, because I wasn't able to just jump right back into the game and keep playing. I had to reload it, which took a little time. Added a little time to the game. And that's not because my PlayStation did one of those things where it suddenly decides that it doesn't want to go to sleep and wake up anymore. It was, in fact, because my husband wanted to learn how to use the PlayStation 4. I know, right? Crazy. He has played games in the past. Like, we've played Rock Band together, SingStar. Those are fun for him. He also likes Zelda games. I feel like he might have played like one of the ones on the Wii. And I know that he borrowed my 3DS so that he could play A Link Between Worlds. He doesn't last long. He plays it for a little while. He might do like 1 or 2 bosses and then be like, okay, I'm bored now. Like, he doesn't get into it. He just wants to try it and have a little bit of fun, and then he's done. Like, he doesn't get all into the story where he needs to finish the story. But he saw me playing Miles Morales, and he's like, I never did get to play that other Spider-Man game with the real Spider-Man. And I was like, all you had to do was say, and I'd show you how to work it. It's fine. And he's like, well, actually, what I really want to play, I don't know why I'm doing this voice for him. It's not what he sounds like. But he's like, what I really wanted to play was Friday the 13th. And I'm like, I have that too. And he's like, you do? And he doesn't sound like that either. And so I was like, yeah, because it was free with PlayStation Plus at some point, and I just threw it in my library because I thought maybe I'll play it someday. I don't add everything from PlayStation Plus. There's a bunch of stuff in there that I'm like, I know I'm never even going to touch that, so I won't even clutter up my library with it. But that was one where I was like, maybe, whatever. I like Friday the 13th. Because his friend is playing it, and I don't know if they're going to actually try to sync up and play together at some point, but there's a single-player mode, so he's like, I can play single-player. Because he's definitely not ready for multiplayer online stuff, no. I mean, I hate it, so he really would hate it. So I downloaded Friday the 13th for him, and he started playing it. First, I tried it out so that I could try to, help walk him through it. But it turns out I was doing the single-player challenges, and what he wanted to do was, single-player against bots, which is more like what the actual game is, not the specific challenges of kill these 2 people in these particular ways. Because you can lose those challenges. I mean, I guess you can lose the other way if the bot campers get away. But, so he's been playing that. So sometimes I would go to play Miles Morales, and it would be like, oh, do you want to close Friday the 13th and load Miles Morales? And I'm like, yes, and then I would have to wait for it to load. Now, this isn't going to last a long time, because he'll get bored with it. Also, because Friday the 13th, it's kind of frustrating, and you have to, stalk the counselors and then, get them, because if they see you, they'll run away, and then you can't kill them because you can't really run after them. They're also really hard to find. I watched him play it, and he's literally just, moving around the map and, trying to find... He's like, where is this counselor? I cannot find them to kill them. What the hell? And it was just... I'm just like, this just seems really annoying and frustrating and not actually fun to play, but you do you. But when he gets bored with that, I have installed... I pulled out the old Spider-Man disc, and I did install the classic Spider-Man game for him. So, I just dusted this off, popped it in, and installed it, which, of course takes an hour or 2, but, because for whatever reason they insist that you install the entire thing and take up all your hard drive space. So he'll probably move on to that so that he can try Spider-Man, because he loves Spider-Man. And I'll be interested to see how he does with that. But it just meant that I had to load up Miles Morales and switch over from his profile to mine and load up the game and everything in order to keep playing it. But I did finish it. It is great. I mean, I was expecting it to be great because it's basically the old Spider-Man game with a new skin and a new characters and a new story. My only complaint with it is obviously it was really short. It did not take me long to finish this game. And the problem is that it's still a good game. It's just that I feel like it wasn't really $50 worth of good game, if that makes sense. Like, for the money that you paid for it, the value isn't quite there. Like, I would have liked it to last, like, maybe another 10 hours of gameplay. Give me more side quests, more other things to do. Just something to stretch it out. I don't feel like I got $50 worth of game out of this. Like, if it was $40, then I think it would have been okay. But $50, I'm not sure it was quite $50 worth. But, so if it's on sale, definitely pick it up if you like the first Spider-Man game. Because it's basically that. The gameplay is the same, with a few new powers, because he has different powers than regular Spider-Man. And obviously new characters and a new story. The graphics are fantastic, even just playing on the PS4. They're still really good. And I liked the story. There's a nice theme of family running through it that was good. And there's two groups of enemies that you're fighting. You're fighting the Underground and you're fighting the Roxxon soldiers. And they're both villains. And they're both fighting each other as well as you. And the villain, the leader of the Underground, trying not to spoil anything here, there's a reveal. And I said, ooh, that's a twist. It's very twisty. And then I basically thought the rest of the story was going to go in this direction. However, to my surprise, it didn't go in that direction. It went in this other direction, which I guess is good because it didn't go in the expected way. And it led to a much more interesting ending. And I will also admit, at the very end, to getting a little bit verklempt. Not for the story and what happened, but for, like, you know, Miles had, like, there was, like, this one shot in the cinematic where he, like, stands up and he's, like, all dun-da-da, and it's, like, the music swells and he's, like, a hero, and it's, everyone's, like, ah, and it's, like, I was, like, oh, Miles, you did good, aw, sniff. So that, I was, like, oh, got a little choked up there. So that was nice. But it was great fun, and at the end, they're like, okay, you finished. Now you can go back and redo, you can select from the mission select screen, and you can redo all the missions, you can redo all the activities, and the crimes, and the whatever, and you can also start a new game with, like, ultimate difficulty, no thank you, or you can start a new game plus, and, you know, I was like, I'm good. After the game, though, I did play a little more because I had 100%ed all of the different areas of Manhattan except for Harlem, where there were 2 side quests that I hadn't done. And it turns out, spoiler alert, don't worry about it, those 2 quests actually don't pop up until after you've finished the main game. Once you finish the main story, there's some wrap-up, and then a side quest appears, and that's the really important one because that's the one where you get the Bodega Cat outfit. Love Bodega Cat. I really wish that you didn't have to wait until the very end of the game to get that costume, because it's super cool. And it was a lot of fun taking pictures with the Bodega Cat costume, because it's just fun, and the cat will make faces and do stuff. And I also happened to stumble across a random crime, and I was like, you know what, this one I'm going to go and fight these dudes because I wanted to see the Bodega Cat finisher in action. Because if you perform a finishing move while wearing the Bodega Cat costume, he jumps in and claws at the guy and helps out with your finishing moves, and it's very cute. And then after you do that side quest, then another side quest pops up, and that's sort of like a nice epilogue to the game. It's just a nice palate cleanser that sort of brings the theme of family home, and you're just sort of like, ah. It's just a nice little journey, and I was like, that was a nice little side quest. But now it's basically done, and I think that I'm good to go. Like, I didn't get all the trophies, obviously, just like with the first Spider-Man game. And there's so many trophies that I didn't get that are, like, specific, like, they're very skill-based. Like, I could go back and I could try to do, like, all the special moves. I could try to do like, you know, all the challenges, but like those, I think one of the stealth challenges I got actually like the silver, the middle level. The rest of them are just bronze level. But I'm sure that there's trophies for if you can get, you know, the high score in one, but they're really not my thing. They're a little too picky with their challenges, so I'm like, eh. And I don't want to go in and try to do like specific challenges like that, or like the combat moves, like get 20 ceiling takedowns or whatever, go back and redo missions to try to get like different things. To me, that feels like busy work, and it's not necessarily fun, and especially certain things where it's like, I'm not going to just say like, oh, I need to do this, let me go and do that. Like, especially those challenges, it's like, I'm going to have to do it over and over and over and over again, and I'm not sure how quickly I'll pick it up and how easily that'll be done, and at that point it'll start getting frustrating, and then it won't be fun. And I want Spider-Man to be fun, because it's supposed to be fun. So I decided, you know what? Let's just start a new game. But it's not going to be Assassin's Creed Valhalla, because, like I said in last episode, I think I'm going to wait to play Assassin's Creed Valhalla when I have a PlayStation 5. Like, whenever that is, that's going to be, like, the game that I get with it. Like, I'm going to buy a PlayStation 5 and Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and it'll look super pretty. So I've got tons of games in my library that I've gotten through PlayStation Plus, and I just need to pick one. So I did. However, I'm not going to give you my first impressions of it now, because I'm not even going to tell you what it is. You got to come back next episode to find out what it is. Because I have been playing it for a few days, but I still don't feel like it's actually started. So I don't feel like I can give proper first impressions yet, because I don't feel like I'm in the actual game yet. It's still like an intro kind of thing. It's a very long intro. Maybe this is the game. I don't know. Come back next episode, and I'll tell you what it is. You might be able to guess what it is just from that description. But I'll let you know if I actually finally do have impressions of this game, or if I've given up on it. That could happen too. Who knows? See ya!